So here we go then, 10 laps ahead of us in Argentina. Which way will the championship pendulum swing? We're about to find out. It's a good start from Adrian from pole position.
Oh.
Contact in the back, is that Trastevere? I think it is! The world champion has gone down! He's crashed!
Dominic Ligny down as well.
Can you believe it? The man hoping to reclaim his world championship has surely now seen those hopes go up in smoke. Trask dead last as we go through the opening sector. A disastrous start for the Italian. He surely now will not be reclaiming his throne in 2022.
How many times this year we've seen Trastevere have difficulty off the line or around the first lap? Once again, the Yamaha man is up against it now. This really is going to be do or die for Trastevere if he wants to. Oh, and has he gone down again? Surely not. Is that a second crash?
And he's ejected the game as well. Well, dearie me, what's gone on here? It was a collision with Vindex. I mean, you couldn't script it. His fellow Yamaha man, those two trained together on a regular basis. They came together and had the collision. I hope we can see a replay of it to see what happened exactly. Meanwhile, at the front, we've hardly mentioned it. It's Adrian, the pole man, leading away. And Ricciuti and Severia side by side, elbow to elbow here, fighting it out for second. These points are absolutely vital. Severi trying to squeeze through, but no way. The wild child slamming the door shut, and this is helping Adrian, Jack. We've not even completed the opening lap, and he's already edging up to half a second clear.
Yeah, half a second. That really is the magical buffer in eSport. Half a second is what we call comfortable in this game, and if Adrian can maintain that as we go down throughout the remaining 9 of these laps, that is going to be it. I mean, the championship will be blown, well, not even wide open. It's going to be absolutely destroyed because Adrian will go into it with a huge lead. He'll pick up, what's he going to pick up now? It's going to be a massive amount of points.
It's going to be a massive advantage.
But I tell you what, look at this, Piero Ricciuti, the wild child. He means business. Here's a quick replay then of Trastevere off the line. What happened? Oh, it might have been some connection issues. Can you believe that for Trastevere?
Was it Vindex?
It was Vindex.
Lagged in front of him. I mean, your heart does go out for him. It wasn't the ideal start for Trask, but regardless, for his championship to pretty much end in those circumstances, dive up the inside by Christian, runs high, wide, and Hampson, allowing Severi to come back through. Yeah, honestly, your heart does go out for Trask, and you can understand why he's just decided to quit the game as the result, because, well, game over for him, quite literally.
Yep, that is Gamer's rage all over it, to a T. And I tell you what, Piero Ricciuti means business. This has been a phenomenal lap then from the Ducati man. Look at the corner speed he carries into the flick here. We're coming down now into the final sector, and this is going to be some lap this from Piero Ricciuti. We said last time out at round 4 of the Global Series, it was his best round in 2022 so far, and he's looking like he's kicking on at just the right time here as he's putting the 2020 world champion and championship leader under pressure.
He's going to need some assistance from elsewhere, though. Don't be surprised that if Ricciuti is close enough for a move, he tries to make it as an aggressive move as possible, because he has to see the championship leader fall down the order. If he finishes second behind him, Adrian will take that all day long, as he, even despite finishing second, extends out his championship lead even further.
Yeah, I believe that championship, well, the gap anyway to Piero Ricciuti, if it was to finish the way this would be, Adrian would have 33 points over Piero Ricciuti, but of course Andrea Severi is there in third, and he is only, what is he? He's 13 points behind. Oh, look at this, we're going to be changed for the lead then. Piero Ricciuti on the Ducati with some slipstream up into turn 5, and does he get the job done? Has he managed to pull it down to an apex? He has, and he blocks Adrian coming out of turn 5. This is going to be crucial then, the flick through turn 6. Lots and lots of time to find a run at him down into turn 7, but it looks as though Piero Ricciuti has got the move done. Fantastic move then from the wild child.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Ricciuti. He just about got it stopped, pulling it back to a late apex, slamming the door shut on Adrian, who was trying himself. There was no sort of championship in the back of his mind there as he looked to poke a front wheel through. Ricciuti got the job done though. Clean move, a smart move, and he hits the front, looking to take a first win of the year, can you believe it? It's not been a hallmark year for the factory Ducati man, signed at the start of 2022 to try and fight for the championship, but it hasn't gone to plan for him so far. A little bit wide there for the penultimate corner, but he'll swing it back across before going left for the final corner. Still holds the advantage, so that's 3 laps completed here in Argentina, and it's Ricciuti leading the way.
Yeah, massive move then for Piero Ricciuti. Of course, we just did briefly mention that the other way around, it would have been a 33-point gap. That is going to be cut significantly. I think down to 13 or something like that. Jack, you'll have to do the maths because I'm terrible at maths. But anyway, regardless. Fly then into lap 4, and this race is just starting to settle into it. We do have these top 4 that have definitely streaked out a little bit of a gap. Once again, Jack Hammer is the man that is on the hunt. There you go, you can see the gap confirmed. It is 13 points, I was right for once. Fantastic, that big GCSE maths has done me well. 21 points into Andrea Severi. Oh, that's unfortunate for Christian. He's going to lose a little bit of time there and slip back into the clutches of Jack Hammer just somewhat. But this is going to be spicy. If we go into the final race with this as the gap, well, Adrian doesn't even have to win the race.
No, that's the crucial point I was just about to make. If things stay as they are, Adrian following Ricciuti across the line in seconds, and that means he can do exactly the same again in race number 2, our final race of the evening at the Pertamina Mandalika circuit in Indonesia. Of course, 10 points with double points on offer, the difference between first and second. So 2 second places would be enough for Adrian to wrap up his second eSport title, but still a long, long way to go in this one.
Yeah, a long way to go indeed. We're about to cross the line to complete lap 4, fly onto lap 5, so we are edging closer to half race distance and 6 laps to go now. And look at this then, those top 3, just after that little mistake from Christian, they do have a slight buffer on him, but he has clawed back about a 10th or so in the second half of that lap. So Christian, MM17, the second of the Montenegro brothers, certainly not out of this one yet. And well, coming into this race positioned 4th in the standings, a 4th is really not what he needs. He needs to be right up the sharp end.
Ricciuti, was he on the grass on the outsides there? I think he was, nearly touching it. He's so lucky to stay on if he did. And if he wasn't, he was pretty close, and it's a clear example of just how hard he's pushing at the front of this race. Mistake from the World Championship leader. Adrian, wide, drops 1 place. Severi goes through. Will his brother capitalise on the mistake? No, he won't. He remains 3rd. But that is, of course, absolutely crucial in the championship picture, because now Piero Ricciuti, if things stay as they are, and Andrea Severi as well, they know that if they win the race in Indonesia, the championship is theirs. Only 5 points splitting our top 3 as things stand. It has tightened up an incredible amount, and it's worth noting as well, if you're just joining us, 5th as things stand. Trastevere out of this one. Contact off the line with Yamaha counterpart Vindex. Sees him out of this one, dropping 34.5 points adrift. The 3-time champion will not be making it a fabulous 4 in 2022.
Half race distance complete then. We fly into the second half of this race, and if it does finish like this, as we do say, it's going to be a he who dares wins in race 10, the last race of the 2022 MotoGP eSport Global Series. And what a thing that would be. Of course, Piero Ricciuti, not won, as we rightly said earlier, not won yet in the 2022 series. We've seen him have great rides in the past, but really starting to come on strong. And it's been a tale of that this year, hasn't it? We've seen at certain times that some riders dominated one round, then another came in and dominated another round. Think back to Christian at round 3, did the double. Then at round 4, Adrian did the double. And Piero Ricciuti getting off on the right foot in the most crucial round to take that race victory. And hopefully, for him anyway, that 2022 Global Series crown.
I mean, can you imagine this? I'm getting carried away here, but a man that hasn't won a race all year long coming into the final round is somehow able to walk away with the 2022 title. It would be some story if Ricciuti was able to pull it off. He's not dreaming of that just yet. Although he's cleared off at the front here, now over a second clear, he'll still be in full concentration mode, picking his markers, his braking points, where he needs to get on the gas just to make sure they can tick the laps away and get to the checkered flag as soon as possible. Adrian, however, a different story for him. He knows just how important a move for second place could be here. If he can get himself up ahead of Severi, not only will it make life extremely difficult for the Suzuki man to wrap up the championship in Indonesia, but it makes his life a hell of a lot easier as well. And that's why he's pushing on as hard as he is to try and find a way through on the factory Suzuki man.
Yeah, and of course, heading to Indonesia, it's a complete unknown for us at least anyway. We've never seen a MotoGP eSport race there at the Pertamina Mandalika circuit. These guys, of course, they will have done plenty of laps testing there in private lobbies and also in our free practice sessions that we have before these shows go live for qualifying the day before what you're watching now. So these guys know exactly who's good, but we're not so sure. We've seen in Pertamina that a couple of these guys are, well, they may be the standouts, but as we've seen so many times from free practice, the likes of Jackhammer are often very good in free practice, but then in their qualifying, they don't quite get the job done, and it makes it extremely difficult in the races to replicate that free practice form. So it's going to be an unknown going into the final race of the 2022 series.
Adrian was having a little look up the insides there. It was coming from a long way back. I don't think he was ever going to get the job done, but just showing his front wheel for a fraction of a second to Severi, and we've spoken about what a story it would be for Ricciuti. How about Severi in Suzuki's final ever appearance in MotoGP, full stop, never mind the MotoGP eSport Championship, for them to walk away with the eSport title, a championship of any regard, would certainly put smiles on the faces of the people that put that project together and did so magnificently as well. There's the concentration phase of Ricciuti then. No idea what's going on in the background there. Is there a parrot under that? And he's just...
Maybe that's the championship celebration just prepared already in case.
Potentially. Is that going to say perfect combination underneath it?
It might do, yeah. He might have just done a Pecco Bagnaia rip-off, of course.
I'm not
Piero
sure
in Valencia was down there celebrating with all the Ducati camp, wasn't he? So he had a very good weekend in Valencia.
Had the title T-shirt on and everything. Ricciuti getting amongst it, as you should as well. Severi there as well, celebrating Suzuki's farewell appearance. As they get hard onto the brakes here, the laps ticking away. And Ricciuti looks to have got this one pretty much wrapped up at the moment. 2.5 laps remaining, still plenty of time for something to go wrong as we make our way down to turn number 7. But understandably, we're focusing on this battle for second at the moment. Adrian was a little bit closer a couple of laps ago, but Severi has just managed to eke out enough of a comfort buffer here where he won't be sweating just as much as he was a couple of laps ago. And importantly for Adrian as well, Christian MM17 has just lost a little bit of his rhythm and has dropped off the back of Adrian.
Yeah, it does seem that these front three then, they've just kind of settled into the rhythms that they need to do to be able to secure themselves that position for now. Of course, Jackhammer is still pushing hard behind on the Red Bull KTM factory racing machine. Always we see this from Jackhammer. Qualifies a little bit poorly from where we should see him really, but then comes through late in the race, and once again he's pushing hard to try and pinch a top 4 spot off Christian MM17. You have to say though, Piero Ricciuti, what a ride this is. We haven't seen too many dominant performances in the 2022 Global Series. I think really the only proper dominant performance was maybe Adrian last time out in Motegi, I do believe it was, where he cleared off and won by over 2 seconds. But this from Piero Ricciuti, with him stretching the gap up now to closing in on 1.5 seconds, that is, well, that's a hefty margin in Global Series terms. So certainly very, very impressive indeed. And I don't think any of us really saw this coming.
No, to a certain extent, we should have really seen it coming. Looking at the form book, he did finish second in both races last time out at round 4 in Thailand and Japan. So he had a little bit of form there, but was put under some pressure in both races by Christian MM17. Meanwhile, Adrian was extremely dominant, but we said not won a race all year long, and he's rocked up here and made the move, importantly, on Severi and then on Adrian to be able to romp clear, now only a lap and a half away from a vital, vital victory for the factory Ducati man.
Yeah, vital indeed. And something that Piero, of course, has needed really this year. We haven't seen him win yet, and he was kind of tearing his hair out at the start of the year when he was finishing kind of 5th, 6th, struggling to even get on the podium at the start of the year, and he flies onto the final lap. This one seems to be all but in the bag, and what a win it will be. We'll head into the final race if it does stand as it is, with the top 3 in the championship separated just by 5 points. Quite incredible, and with double points on offer, well, it really doesn't matter that margin at all. It may as well be level, because it is just going to be he who dares wins.
Looks as though that fight for second is now sewn up as well. 3/4 of a second adrift is Adrian halfway round this final lap, so an important second spot for Severi as well as he closes in on that championship lead. It'll be disappointment for Christian to only come across the line in 4th. That double at round 3 gave him so much hope, but he's not been able to build on that since then. 23 points adrift of his brother is going to give him a mountain to climb going into the final round. And Adrian, well, he knows what his task is going into that final race of the year at Indonesia. He has to win in order to make life as easy as possible. What a performance from this man, though, Piero Ricciuti. On his way now to a first win of 2022, signed by the factory Ducati team at the start of the year with the sole intention of going out and winning the championship. It wasn't going his way at all, as Jack was saying, struggling to find form, struggling to find pace, but it's clicked at the perfect time for the wild child. Piero Ricciuti out of the final corner and takes victory in Argentina. Look at the emotion. You can see just how much that one means to him. 5 points separating the top 3 as we head to the final round of 2022. It's all up for grabs. It's anyone's game in the MotoGP Sport Championship.
What a performance then from Piero Ricciuti. Race win number 1 of 2022. Andrea Severi does come across the line to take second in the end with Adrian. In the end, a distant third, almost 1 second back. Christian takes 4th and Jack Hammer 5th after just struggling to be able to close in those final few tenths. Spadalongo 6th, Davide Galigna, Tatigo, Vindex and Mr. T, and spare a 4th for Trastevere, the reigning world champion, 34.5 points back. He is still mathematically in with a chance, but with the form of these guys, he may very well much be out of it now.